Hey everybody, Jim Ballard, wood turner in Tennessee. Doing a little bit of deep boring here. Had a lot of questions. What system do I do for deep hollowing or deep boring? I'm using the Lyle Jamieson boring jig. I've made a few modifications, made it adapt to the lathe I'm using. I'm going to show you that. I may just go freehand with the camera, but I couldn't go as deep as I wanted to. So I've changed the bar from a standard bar, which was this smaller rod. I've increased it to a 1-inch square A440 steel. Had a machine shop work on that for me, and I can get pretty deep. I can get up to almost 2 feet deep. It's a little difficult because the back boring arm, it's in the shape of a D or a P, keeps it from rotating. It is only 18 inches. So after I get in so far, if I'm going to go 24 inches, I can't back out because of the other arm. So I'm probably going to end up modifying that as well. But it seems to do pretty well, and I don't do deep vessels that often. Right now, the one I'm working on, this is only, say, about 15 inches tall. I'll probably go about 14 and a quarter deep. But let me show you some of the components of it and how I use it. So here's the end of the bar, and I've had them machine this was offset in the corner, and this adjustable cutting head, and with the laser here set on top off of this bar, this is the way I do it, but I keep the laser point right on the tip of the head, tip of the cutting head. And this is adjustable to swivel around. You can get some shoulder cuts back, but you can make a lot of adjustments right here. And this, of course, is replaceable. And what I have there, these are some used up pieces, but I generally get them 3/16 by 3/16 high-speed steel stock just from a machine shop here in town. And it comes square on the ends, and I of course have to take them off, and I'll sharpen them on the ends. I'll show you that real quick. Okay, as you can see, I've got the table here on the angle I want to meet the angle of the head or the cutting tip. So I'm just going to work this. So I'm just going to work this back and forth. That sharpens it right up. That's pretty much it on the sharpening. Now, as to how I mount it, I'll blow some of this off. Okay, so mounting it, I've got it mounted on this 2x8, and this is just an old set bolt from an old lathe. This is nothing more than a piece of all-thread rod, just a little coupling nut, just something I can get a good hold on, but it's just got a piece of steel underneath that bridges across and works just like this piece does. So I've got 2 points of attachment. Then I just took and screwed this down with some drywall screws, and when it's adjustable if I need to, whereas I get this put in, I can just move this around, but rarely do I do. This distance here was just a little bit too much. I've added this little piece of aluminum, and the tolerances, it cuts down on some of the rattle. It is just a fit. One piece of tape to hold this in place, it gets tight. So the tolerances are pretty close here, and it does make a difference. Sometimes if I'm boring real deep, I'll actually hang a weight, like a 20-pound weight, right here, and it takes, once it gets hanging way over, once this is hanging really far past, this area wants to go up. So I just hang a weight right here and it cuts down on some of the vibration. The important thing is when you're adjusting the laser, because of the way I do it with it showing just on the tip, I want to make sure that this laser is vertical. My studio is level and plumb, so I use items in the room to view it that this is perfectly vertical or plumb. And the reason why that's important is when I'm inside, this point is being represented up here. And if I have to look directly, if I look directly down on this, I can see the side of the vessel, and just up I can see the laser. See if I can show that. I haven't gone, see if I can show that. I haven't gone that deep in this particular vessel, but this would be a good example right here. If I come up, as you can see, the laser's on the cutting head, and when I put it against, I mean, you can see right here, this is, you can see the thickness of this. I'm going to take and put the laser, or the cutting head, right there. So the cutting head is against it. There's the laser. And the trick to it is I look, well, I'm going to block the laser. It's going to be really difficult to see. Maybe I can do it from an angle. I can now see the thickness of the wall from here to the laser. I can see how thick the walls are. I don't like putting the laser off so that when you lose the laser off, that sets your depth. I would prefer to know exactly where the laser dot is, and I can judge that all the way through here. But the trick to it is you have to be, the laser has to be plumb, and you have to be directly in line with the view so that you can see where the thickness of your walls are at. But that's just how I do it. So there you go. That's the rig I'm using. That hopefully that answers questions. If not, leave some questions, leave some comments. And I hope this was helpful. And if you wanted to see this actually more in action, I've got another video. It's called the Piopo Cava. Please check it out. And if you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment box, and I'll be more than happy to answer. So you guys take care, safe turning, and please subscribe. Thank you very much. See ya. I forgot to mention, if you don't keep this blown out of material, you're going to have an accident. It will build and compact and will rip this piece off the lathe. Keep it cleaned out. See you guys.